Hey YouTube, this is Mass Panic, and today I'm going to be talking about two popular delusions about gaming. They don't they don't just piss me off. They sometimes can offend me, and I'm sure you guys will probably agree with at least the first one. I mean, my second point, it's a bit more controversial. Let's start off talking about me. I go to high school, so I still live with my parents, and they limit my gaming because of the violence. Now, first, let's figure out why is this? Why do parents limit gaming because of violence? It's because they don't want you to become that. They don't want you to think that's okay. Now, there let's start talking about the science. There's no solid proof that gaming causes violence. There's no scientific proof. For every one murderer who was a gamer, there are 10,000 just normal people that play video games. It's completely ridiculous. You could say the same thing about, I don't know, going to Chipotle. Say some guy go murder some people. He also went to Chipotle. You could say that, oh, Chipotle causes violence. It's complete bullshit. Now, humans, as a race and species, we are maybe not violent, but we enjoy that kind of thing. That's why TV shows like The Walking Dead and action movies are so popular in our culture. Video games are the same thing. If you're gonna say, violent video games cause violence, you could say that violent TV shows and violent movies cause violence, but I mean, people watch those all the time. And same thing. If someone who watches action movies kills someone, it's not like everybody that watches action movies kills someone. In fact, you'll find that's less than 1%. It could, that could apply to anything. So, the second point that I'm talking about, it's a bit more controversial, but it's something that, I don't know, it's important to me. Basically, it's that sports in our culture are such a huge thing. Someone could come up to you, a gamer, and say, oh, why don't you play like a sport or something? Why do you just like play video games? And I'm going to argue to you guys that video games is not only a sport, but even more, as much or even more a sport than the other sports. So we're gonna start off with a little anecdote. A couple months ago, I went into my English class, and there's this girl that sits next to me, and she's arguing to her friend about which is more of a sport, swimming or baseball. Alright? So she's basically sitting here saying, swimming is such more of a sport because it takes more physical activity. In baseball, it doesn't take like any physical activity. And I kind of butted in there and said, how much physical activity a sport takes has nothing to do with whether or not it's a sport. You feel? So baseball, I'm sure it takes some physical activity. I mean, you must be pretty strong to throw a ball 90 miles per hour. But what really makes baseball is two elements, and this applies to all sports: coordination and teamwork. Coordination a bit more. So, let's say there's a baseball player. He's out in the field. It doesn't take that much physical strength to reach up and catch a ball. However, it takes intense amounts of coordination to know exactly where to put your hand and glove, and exactly how to throw it back to the infield. Because, I mean, that's not just brute strength, that's precision. Also, another huge part of sports is teamwork. And, you could say, you can argue that there's teamwork in swimming, but I don't really see how there would at least be more teamwork in swimming than baseball or something like football. Those sports take a lot of teamwork, a lot of knowing exactly where people are going to be, exactly what plays to, do. So this is the same thing as gaming. Whether it's, League of Legends or Dota 2 or Counter-Strike Global Offensive or even competitive COD. Like, obviously if you just go into Team Deathmatch on Call of Duty or just, messing around on Gary's mod, that's not a sport, obviously. But if you're playing any sort of competitive or teamwork based game, that's a sport, because it's not like any person can go on and just be good. You have to be extremely coordinated with your fingers, like know exactly how to play. And teamwork is huge. Like in Counter-Strike Global Offensive competitive, if you're not communicating with your team, like I played a game yesterday, me and my friend were the only people with mics, and this kid's like on the chat, you should get good, you should play your positions, and I'm like, there were no positions because you don't have a mic. We're the only people with mics. We're trying to make this team work, and you're just, on chat like ranting against us. Why don't you get a mic? It's all about the teamwork and all about the coordination, and that's what makes a sport. So basically what I'm saying here is gaming is a sport, and I mean, you could say there's more teamwork in gaming than baseball or something, and there's at least as much coordination involved. I'm not saying, you should like, oh, I'm a gamer, I play sports, why don't I get a girlfriend? Because, I mean, that's a different story. There are some more obvious answers to that. You figured that out yourself. But I'm just saying, if you're a gamer, you play in any sort of competitive or teamwork based game, you're an athlete. Now, I guess the video is wrapping up. Hope you enjoyed my commentary. I hope you agreed with my arguments. I mean, I could see why they'd be a bit controversial. If you disagree or agree, you can write in the comments. If you like the video, drop a like, maybe even a sub, and I'll be posting more good videos and good content shortly. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.